You know?
Well, that's very interesting, actually, because, I wanted to talk about this idea of strength and perhaps, where men get that wrong, especially when they're younger. I mean, to you, Niall, I guess it was building yourself up again and increasing, in terms of your confidence. But, where do you think men get it wrong about what strength means as a man?
I think your mental health, physical strength. A lot of people go with the too old to start myth, which means too old to try and make new friends, new hobbies. It doesn't really matter what age you are. There's different forms of strength, isn't there? Obviously, the mental strength is probably one of the hardest to maintain, I think, anyway.
But I think people mistakenly think strength is, the strong stuff, the bloke that never flinches, or the guy that never cracks under pressure. There's probably more strength in saying to somebody, I'm not doing well here, I need help. Or reaching out to somebody,
Yeah.
There's probably more strength in that,
That's really hard, yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of strength to be gained by admitting your weakness or weaknesses. Right. And it's probably taken me a good while to probably learn that lesson. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that we potentially get wrong as men, that we have to put this front of strength up regardless, when in actual fact true strength often comes, the starting point to true strength is often in the admittal or the acceptance or the honesty about weakness or mistakes. I mean, another thing is we probably struggle. I think there's a massive strength in being able to admit a mistake and then learn from that mistake and move on from it.
But I think that gets slightly easier the older you get, I think. I think when you're in your maybe 30s or early 40s, you still have that I'm fine and okay, my weakness is none of your business, as the song goes, by a group called Embrace. But I think the older you get, I think it's easier to say, okay, fuck, I don't know what to do. I don't have the answer for this. Let's reach out to someone who has the answer for it. But I certainly in my 30s and my 40s, in my early 40s at least anyway, I would never admit I something was wrong or I didn't know what to do or anything like that. But I don't know what it is. Maybe there's once you pass 45, there's something goes off in your brain where it's much easier to say, I don't know.
I don't have the answers. Yeah. I find from work even, a lot of people come to me for direction, and I kind of go on, well, we can go left or we can go right. You know what I mean? Let's go left. Right. And if it works, people think, well, that's why we went to you, Mike, because, you'd have the answer. I'm kind of going, well, no, I just gambled. It's going to be 50-50 split. If it's not that, we'll go the other way, But I think it's okay. I think you get to a stage where you're okay with admitting that you don't have all the answers.
I think that's very powerful, actually, that there is strength in admitting your weakness. And especially as you get older, this concept of being, an elder or a mentor or, teaching the generation below you. So, that's hopefully a good thing. Which leads me on to my next kind of question.